Now we try to tell you the truth about the Russia-Ukraine wars. There is now a curfew in many cities across Ukraine, but the streets began to empty earlier as darkness fell. Shops and restaurants are all closed. Life has changed suddenly here. In the Donbas region in the east, people had been nervous about an invasion but didn't truly believe it until they were woken by the explosion early this morning. It is a familiar sound in 2014. Many of these towns were overrun by Russian-backed forces. In the city of Konstantinovka, as her daughter ran around happily in playground, Nasty told me she would learn to tell incoming from outgoing fire. She is used to huddling in a basement, already forced to flee the fighting once when her hometown was caught right on the front line. The mother of two can't bear to uproot her family again. But for others, the exodus has begun. Some 7,000 people took special evacuation train out of the Donbas today, dragging their cases to the station with no clue when they will be coming home. On the roads, much of the traffic is families heading west. In Pavlograd, along the route they took, we found workmen and a soldier building a giant checkpoint of concrete block and sandbags preparing for Russia advance. Man stranded in Ukraine cuts interview short as tank approaches. We have been speaking to people across Ukraine today who have given us every witness account as the invasion unfolded. Sin Kusik from Glasgow, his wife and their 2-year-old stepson live near the Russian border in Kharkiv, where air strikes have destroyed the airport. He was forced to cut short his interview with the BBC after hearing the sound of explosion in background and a tank. Biden said Putin has much larger ambition. In his remark at the White House, President Biden also said that he believed Vladimir Putin has much larger ambitions that go far beyond Ukraine's border. He wanted to, in fact, re-establish the former Soviet Union. Biden said that's what this is about. His ambitions are completely contrary to the place where the rest of the world has arrived. He added, additionally, Biden said that sanctions against Putin personally are still on the table as possible option in addition to those already announced against Russia's economy and several individual entitles. Cutting Russia off from SWIFT banking not an option right now. Joe Biden said cutting Russia off from the global SWIFT banking system is not being proposed right now. He said the sanctions already proposed on all the banks are of equal consequence and perhaps even exceed banning Russia from SWIFT. Let's have a conversation in another month or so to see if they are working, he said. The move is always an option, but right now it is not the position the rest of Europe wishes to take. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson said earlier there was a potential to use SWIFT as sanction and nothing is off the table. Where are the Russian forces near Kyiv? Fierce fighting has broken out at an airbase on the outskirts of Kyiv. It is understood to be the closest that Russian forces have managed to get to the Ukrainian capital on the first day of their invasion. 6 civilians died. 6 civilians died in an airstrike in Brovary outside of Kyiv. The battle lines are quickly moving, however, and some reports are unconfirmed. Satellite image captured attack on air base near Kyiv. A satellite appearing to show an attack on Kyiv air base near Kharkiv has been shared with the BBC. The picture from Planet's labs show smoke rising from the airfield in the east of the country. Russia has targeted air bases and other military installations around Ukraine over the course of the day. Anti-war protesters gathered near Kremlin. More now on anti-war protests taking place in Russia as Joe Biden takes questions from journalists at the White House. At least 735 people have been arrested at this protest across Russia today, including more than 330 in Moscow, according to OVD Info, which track arrests at opposition rallies. Footage from Moscow show large crowd close to the Kremlin. Some 2,000 people gathered near Pushkin Square in Moscow and up to 1,000 people in the city of St. Petersburg, AFP news agency. Russian ally to be sanctioned by US. Joe Biden say he is adding to the list of Russian elite and their family members that are sanctioned. These are the people who personally gained from the Kremlin's policy and they should share in the pain, he say. Biden say Putin has sinister vision for world. President Biden said that the Russian invasion of Ukraine betrays the sinister vision of Vladimir Putin. In his remark, Biden said that the operation was never about genuine Russian security concerns, but instead was about naked aggression and Putin's desire for empire. Putin's action betrays his sinister vision for the future of our world, one where nations take what they want by force, Biden said, but it is a vision that the United States and the freedom-loving nation will oppose. We have cut off Russia's largest bank, Biden said. Biden said we have cut off Russia's largest bank. The US will stop Russia's ability to finance and grow its military. The US president he says the sanction he is outlining will impair its ability to compete in the high-tech 21st century economy, outlining the economic consequence of the invention. Already, he points to the Russian ruble hitting its weakest level ever and the Russian stock market plunging today. We have now sanctioned Russia Bank that together hold $1 trillion in assets, Biden said. We are cut off one of Russia's largest banks, which hold 1/3 of the country's banking assets. We will limit Russia's ability to do business in dollars. Joe Biden is outlining a strong sanction to maximize a long-term impact on Russia and to minimize the impact on the United States and its allies. He said he has agreed with the G7 leaders from the world's largest economy that they will collectively limit Russia's ability to do business in dollars, euros, pound, and yen. Attack follows weeks of baseless Russian claim. Russia's assault on Ukraine has come about largely as predicted by the US, with baseless claim and attempt at provocation. In his remark, Biden said that the attack followed weeks of warning from the US. The president adds that the Russian government efforts at starting the war, including cyber attack and shelling on Ukraine, and a separatist held position in eastern Ukraine. He said Russia staged false flag operations that result in a flagrant violation of international law. He now outlining sanctions. Putin brought blood supply and we knew his intention. President Putin moved 175,000 troops and military equipment to Ukraine border and brought blood supply and built field hospital. The US president says this tell you about his intention all along. He adds Putin rejected all attempts at dialogue that the West put on offer that would have avoided suffering and conflict. The president continued. Now you can watch that means Russian helicopter nearing Kyiv have been fired upon by Ukrainian troops. The video shows heavy gunfire striking the aircraft as they pass over Vyshhorod, an area just north of the Ukrainian capital. This image shows us that. So things continue to move fast as Russia forces launch a full-scale assault. So for the today we finished, and for next time we come with a new news. So thank you for listening. This is Unity International News.